You've probably seen this, the OPPO Find N, Oppo's first foldable smartphone, and there's no doubt that this is an incredible foldable phone. But I promised you a different story, and I'm gonna give you a different story on this phone. First of all the good things that you've heard about the OPPO Find N are all true. I mean, the OPPO Find N is a surprisingly refined product and a device that feels like it belongs to the mainstream. See, I've tried out the Z Fold 3, but I haven't really used it for a day or two or longer. So the OPPO Find N is practically the first proper folding phone I have used, and you know what? I am impressed. I mean, you already know this, but the Find N has a design similar to the Z Fold 3. You get this 5.4-inch 60Hz AMOLED on the front as the sort of cover display, and I can open this up and get this bigger 7.1-inch 120Hz LTPO AMOLED display on the inside. Now, both of these displays are high quality AMOLED panels, but there are two things about this whole design that have really impressed me. Number one, this whole design, the hinge, the folding mechanism, everything feels just solid. Look at this. Oh no. Just kidding. See, I think you relate to it when I say that when you hold a foldable phone for the first time, you are a little careful as to not break it or something. Now, I had that feeling first up with the Find N, but it went away as I started to, flip it open, close it multiple times. Yeah, let me do this one more time. Yeah, this feels nice, and this thud kind of makes it clear that this will be fine. As for the durability, the cover screen has the Gorilla Glass Victus, while the inner screen has the same ultra thin glass as the Z Fold 3, which operates for 2 lakh folds, the same as Samsung. The second thing about the design that has really impressed me is the crease. Every single foldable phone, rollable phone I have seen comes with this really visible, not so attractive looking crease. But on the OPPO Find N, I know there's a lot of debate. A lot of you guys have asked us about the crease on Twitter and Instagram. And I can just tell you guys that the OPPO Find N almost solves the whole crease problem in foldable smartphones. I mean, honestly, if you just ask me, I just did not notice it while I was just using it casually. It looks seamless from most angles. Now here's the OPPO Find N opened up, and I can just tilt it across both sides, and you will see the very minimal crease. Actually, multiple creases only when you look at it from certain angles. See, I have a few doubts about the Find N, which I will be talking about in a bit, but the crease is not one of them. The crease here is definitely better than almost every other foldable I have tried. Now this is all because of Oppo's water drop hinge design, which kind of widens the angle of the fold to reduce the crease. And this is probably the reason that when you try and see the crease, you see 2-3 creases. Now, one thing to note though, the crease can be felt just a bit on touch, but once again, it's better than any of the other foldables I have tried. So this design is actually very good, very refined, and I know this is a thick boy, and to answer one of your questions, you can put it in your jeans. It was not a problem for me. Anyway, it's a hefty phone, but it's in the same ballpark as the Z Fold 3, as you can see from the weight and dimensions side by side. Now, one thing I don't like is the placement of the buttons. See, the volume button and the power button are adjacent to each other, which means whenever I want to lock the phone, I always press the volume keys instead of the power button. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Anyway, the design apart, you probably know all about the cool features that the Find N comes with. There's the smooth switching between the cover screen and the inner screen. I mean, I have an app open on the cover screen. I can unfold the device and the app switches here seamlessly. In fact, when I'm playing a YouTube video and switching between the screens, the video and the audio don't stop. It's very smooth. There are also different camera features thanks to the foldable design. I also like the dynamic wallpapers on the Find N. Just look at this. Yeah, this is cool, right? Now the whole seamless switching and the overall smoothness in the OPPO Find N is probably due to the fact that this phone has flagship specs. There's no 8 Gen 1, but there's Snapdragon 888, LPDDR5 RAM and UFS 3.1 storage. Now these are all flagship specs, and the phone just feels very fast. The camera is flagship too, you already know the specs. Now I'm mostly focused on the foldable design, but whatever photos I have taken from the Find N so far look really good. Everything looks sharp, detailed and vibrant, something you expect from a very good phone. As for the battery, the Find N has a 4500 mAh battery divided into two. Now I'm yet to test the battery as my daily driver, but it kind of feels a little modest for a phone with 2 displays. Having said that, no judgment right now because, like I said, I haven't used it as my daily driver. So basically, like I said, all the good things you've heard about the OPPO Find N are true. But after using the Find N for a couple of days, I have a couple of doubts. Here's the different story. See, the problem is foldables are supposed to be the bridge between phones and tablets, and a lot of people just use tablets for watching movies and shows, playing some games. And this is where I feel the Find N's aspect ratio is not very practical. The 7.1-inch display has an aspect ratio of 8.5:9, which means it's almost a square. Now this is fine for reading or just browsing, but the problem is most Netflix shows are 16:9, most YouTube videos are 18:9, and most movies are even wider at around 22:9. So when I'm watching a 16:9 YouTube video, it shows up like this on the Find N. When I'm watching a movie on Disney Plus, it looks like this. Yes, there are these big black bars on the bottom and the top. The video kind of looks tiny. Now since it's a squarish design, I can rotate the screen, but it won't really solve the problem. To give you a better idea, here's the same video playing on the iPad mini in landscape, which has an aspect ratio of 14:9. Now there is letterboxing here too, but it's a lot better than the Find N. Now this is why most tablets have a slightly wider aspect ratio to make sure the video experience is good. And this is also the reason why the Z Fold 3 has a taller display. Samsung has used such a narrow and tall display on the cover to make sure that the inner display is not a square. The Z Fold 3 has an aspect ratio of 11.2:9 because of the taller design. I mean 11.2:9 is still not the best aspect ratio to watch videos, but it's a little better than the Find N. Apart from the weird aspect ratio, another thing I noticed with the Find N is that the software here does not make full use of the whole tablet-like big screen. I mean, there is this gesture to move an app into the split screen, and I like this gesture. And there is support for floating windows in ColorOS, but some more multitasking gestures would make this whole experience a lot better. Also, a lot of you guys have asked this: how are the apps optimized for the foldable form factor in the OPPO Find N? Well, the Google apps and the popular apps we use aren't really optimized because the phone is launching only in China at the moment, where these apps aren't available. Now, an app like BGMI, that runs pretty well because PUBG is available in China. Plus, it's running the Chinese version of ColorOS, so can't really judge on that. Having said that, I do think if OPPO does launch the Find N in other markets, I'm hoping to do so with Android 12L, which is exactly aimed at devices like this. Look, overall, the OPPO Find N is clearly a very promising foldable smartphone. So this is a foldable that almost solves one of the biggest issues with foldables, the crease. Trust me when I say that the inner screen looks almost seamless here. Plus, the Find N feels durable. It feels like a phone I can use on a daily basis without worrying about breaking it, which is a big factor. So the OPPO Find N gives off a vibe that foldable phones are ready to arrive to become mainstream, and it's just very exciting. Yes, I'm not sure about the aspect ratio, and I think Android 12L would make more sense on this, but hopefully OPPO can work on these and we get an ultimate foldable phone that launches globally. Yes, I'm hoping for this. Anyway, I want to know your thoughts on the OPPO Find N. Does this make sense to you? Comment down your thoughts below. Also, give this video a like, make sure to share it, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing tech videos. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.